Hello and welcome back, my friends, and for any of you that are new, I'm Ellie Lee with Ellie Lee Designs, and I welcome you and hope that you'll consider subscribing so that you'll be notified for weekly easy DIY project videos. Now today I'm going to be showing you how to make a chunky blanket with just your hands. I've really always loved these blankets, and I thought with fall just around the corner this would be the perfect time to get this out to you so that you can start planning ahead for your holiday gifts or even just your home decor or something cozy that you can enjoy. So without any further ado, let's get started. The yarn that I selected to make this chunky blanket was the Bernat Blanket Big in the color Taupe Gray. I'll be sure to leave a link in the description box below. On the back side of the paper label, you'll find a free pattern that matches the photo on the front side of the label. So be sure to take it apart carefully so that you can save the pattern for a future project. I used about 5 skeins of yarn for this project, so I ended up with 5 different free patterns. To get started, the first thing that you'll want to do is unravel your skein of yarn. You can unravel it all at once, but I did it a little at a time to keep my yarn from falling to the floor. Next, you'll make a loop, then bring the working yarn through the first loop you created. You'll repeat this step until you reach the length that you want your blanket to be. I originally made this blanket too large and didn't end up with enough yarn, so I pulled it apart and did it again. But for the purposes of this video, you'll see my original version until the end when I cast it off the yarn. I did try to purchase one more skein of the yarn to finish off the larger size, but this color was sold out everywhere in my town and online, so I had to go back to the drawing board. But I'm actually glad that I did because I had the opportunity to make the loops smaller, which I had originally wanted to do since I have a little fur baby at home that loves to snuggle in our blankets, and I didn't want him pushing through the holes and getting his head or something stuck. So it's just something to consider if you have small pets at home. Once you've completed that portion, you just want to pull on your chain to make sure it's nice and straight before moving on to the next step. Next, you'll want to skip the last loop that you created and pull the working yarn through the second loop to create a brand new loop. You'll continue to pull the working yarn through each loop to create a new loop until you reach the end of your chain. Just make sure to flatten the loops along the way so that they don't twist around. This might be the toughest part of the project, but I promise you it gets so much easier as your blanket starts to take form and it gets heavy enough to stay in place. At the end of your third row, you'll pull the working yarn through the loop you previously skipped to create a new loop. Then you will skip that loop and pull the working yarn through the second loop. You'll repeat these steps until you get to the end of your blanket. Once you reach the end of your skein, all you have to do is take the end of your original piece of yarn and that of the new one, then knot them together and cut off the leftover edges. Also, make sure that when pulling on the yarn to knot the two pieces together that you're careful not to pull so hard that it breaks a thread in the middle of the yarn. You can also just wait until the end and cut off the pieces that are visible at that time. At the end of this row, I decided to change up the pattern to add some depth to my blanket. Instead of pulling the working yarn through the back of the loops, I began pulling them through the front. I actually found this to be easier, and I absolutely loved the braided look that it added after I followed the steps in 4 different rows. When I redid the blanket, I actually did this for 3 rows at a time, which I think just made it stand out more, but really it's just a preference. There's no right or wrong way to do it. If you're getting value from this video, I would love it if you consider giving it a thumbs up, as this really helps my channel and also helps me better understand the content you enjoy seeing. Also, if you'd like to make sure that you don't miss any of my next videos, consider subscribing and hitting that notification bell so that you are the first to know when my next video comes out. I love making videos for you guys, and it really makes me happy to see that you're enjoying them. Also, if you'd like to see something in particular, let me know in the comment section below. So this here is the second blanket, and you'll see that the braided stripes are narrower and appear to be more pronounced. Which one do you like most, or do you prefer none at all? Let me know in the comment section below, along with an emoji of a yarn ball. Okay, so for your final step, you'll need to cast off your yarn, and you can do this by creating an additional loop on your last loop, then pulling that loop through the second loop. Then you will take your working yarn and pull it through the loop in the third row to create another loop. You'll then take that loop and pull it through the outside loop. You'll repeat this same step until you reach the end, and you'll see that it'll start to form a braid on the edge of your blanket. To finish off the end, you'll just pull the working yarn through the last 2 loops and knot them together. Then you'll tuck or weave the remaining tail of the working yarn into the side of the blanket. Alright my friends, I really hope that you enjoyed making this chunky blanket. I know I did, and I will definitely be making more of these for the holidays. Now don't forget to take a look at the description box below where I've linked the items that were used in this tutorial, and I'll also try to find some coupon codes so that you can find some additional savings. And if you aren't already following me on social media, please hop on over. I would love to connect with you over there. And before you go, take a look at these couple of videos that I think you may enjoy. And until the next time, bye.